Let's start with the breathing. Take your feet about shoulder width apart and make sure your knees aren't locked up. Relax your shoulders, give your body a good shake. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale open mouth with a sigh. Let it all out. Interlace your fingers and bring your knuckles right underneath your chin. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. On inhale, bring your elbows up, really expand your lungs. On exhale, bring your elbows down, close together. Inhale, bring your chin back to level. Exhale, lift your chin slightly, just as much as is comfortable for you, and let it all out. Inhale, elbows lift, spine lengthens. Exhale, open mouth, let it all out. Synchronize the movement with the flow of your breath, inhaling and exhaling, moving your shoulders and your arms through a range of motion that feels appropriate for you today. You can keep it smaller if you like, inhaling and exhaling. Exhale, elbows go down. Inhale, elbows go up. Set your feet comfortably wide and do some big arm circles. You can keep your elbows bent as you do the arm circles if you prefer. Again, always moving through a range of motion that works for you. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms come down. Breathing fully, feeling alive. If you start to feel dizzy as you do the breath work, pause, sit down, take a sip of water. Inhale and exhale. Let your arms relax down, shake out your body. Stand up super tall. Try and keep your chin level, let your shoulders relax, and begin to slowly and gently rotate your head from side to side. Let your jaw relax. Let your arms dangle. And now head tilts, ear to shoulder from side to side, keeping it small if you need to. Shoulders continue to relax down without forcing them down. Check in with your feet. Let them feel relaxed. And then pause, bring your head back to center. Squeeze your left shoulder up and set it down, and then right. Begin with some shoulder rolls. You can start small if you like, and then begin to lift through your full range of motion. All the way up, all the way back, all the way down, all the way forward. You can let your body move with it. Your head can move, your spine can move. Make sure your knees stay bent. I'm going the other way now. Continue to breathe. And then let your arms relax down. Shake it out. Let's move into wrist circles. So bring your hands up about shoulder height or lower if you need to. Make fists and begin to rotate your hands. Let your shoulders relax. Keep your knees slightly bent. And go the other way. Continue to breathe smoothly. Open your palms and then squeeze. Open and squeeze. Inhaling and exhaling. Opening and squeezing. Once again, shake it out. And stretching the top of the wrist, bring your hand close to your body and very gently pull the hand down without forcing anything. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let your shoulders relax. Continue to take full deep breaths with every stretch that you do throughout this practice. I'll keep reminding you to feel your breath. Release that hand and switch to the other. Gently, gently pulling it down without forcing. If you feel pain, stop. Come out of the pose as much as feels appropriate for you, or just don't do that pose at all. Continue to breathe. Gently release. Wiggle your fingers, shake out your hands. Check in with your shoulders. Let's stretch the bottom of the wrist. Extend your arm out, turn your fingers down. And again, gently pulling. Only pulling to an angle that feels right for your body. Check in with your shoulders again. Let them relax. And while you're stretching your wrist, notice how your back is feeling. Let your buttocks relax. And let's change hands. You may find that you have more flexibility in one arm than the other. Release, shake things out, move any way that feels good. Let's go back to stretching the top of the wrists. So extend your arms, turn your knuckles down, and start to move your arms around. Explore. Find out where you get the best feeling stretch. There's no right or wrong here. And then release and shake it out again. Gently slide your left shoulder blade up towards your ear. Feel your breath. And then slowly and gently set it down while you tilt your head to your right. Both shoulders stay relaxed. Hands are dangling. Allow a little space between your teeth. Feel your tongue resting in your mouth. On an exhale, bring your head up slightly and then tilt your chin towards your right shoulder. Remind yourself only to work in a range of motion that feels appropriate for you without forcing or pushing. Bring your head back to regular and move things around. Check in with how your neck is feeling. Slide your right shoulder up. Remember to breathe. And then gently release. Tilt your head to your left. Feel your breath. Check in with your knees. Make sure they're not locked up. Bring your head up slightly and then rotate your chin down towards your left shoulder. Breathing while you're doing the movement. And if you need to, you can gently release and shrug your shoulders up a little. Come back into the pose. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring your head back to regular. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips and give yourself a big hug. Round forward through your spine a little and then start to shift and move around. Stretch between your shoulder blades. Stretch the back ribs. Move around any way that feels good. Wiggle, breathe, move your head. And then release and put the other elbow on top. Big hug again, shifting and moving around. Knees are slightly bent. If you have your knees slightly bent, you'll get more movement in the spine. Release, and then bring your arms up towards the sky. Your hands can be slightly in front of your face. Stretch up through one arm at a time while you bend that same knee. Really get a good stretch up the side of your body. Elongate through those side ribs. Remember to only raise your arms as much as feels appropriate for you. Breathe and move. Speed it up a little bit. You can let your hips shift. Let your whole spine move. And then reach both arms up for the sky, or keep them slightly in front if you need to. Interlace your fingers. Keep the elbows bent if you need to. Bring the hands up as high as they'll comfortably go without straining anything. See if you can let that space between your shoulders and your neck stay relaxed. Breathe, shift, and wiggle. And then sweep your hands behind and interlace them behind your back. Move your elbows towards straight. You can modify if you need to by clasping your fingers or clasping your wrists. Lift your breastbone towards the sky, stretching across the front of your chest and across the fronts of your shoulders. Release, move things around, breathe. Let's do some movement. So bring the backs of your palms towards each other and then open with the palms up. Backs of the palms come towards each other just as close as they can go, and then lift and open, palms up. Round through your upper back, and then open through your chest, lifting your breastbone or sternum. Exhale as you round. Breathe deeply as you open. And then release. Nice. Adjust your feet again so they're about shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Place your left hand on your hip and raise your right arm up as high as it will go. You can keep the elbow bent if you need to. Side bend. If you need to, you can use a chair for support. Make sure you're not feeling like you're straining your ankles or your hips. Relax both shoulders down. Relax your neck. Round forward slightly, bring the arm forward, stretch the back of that right shoulder, and release. Going to the other side, change the positioning of your support if you need to. Reach up, hand on the hip, and side bend. Make sure your shoulder is comfortable, elongating your side body. And then round forward, stretching the back of your left shoulder. Keep in mind, knees are bent so that your spine gets more movement. Release and check in with how your shoulders and your neck are feeling. Let's move into some gentle spinal twisting, so make sure you have room. Keep your feet fairly wide, and as you twist, let your arms flop around and let your back heel come off the floor. Make sure you're not twisting your knee. You can twist a little bit in your torso and your spine, and your head can rotate as well. Loosen up the lower back. Keep it small if you need to. Let's move into the spine series where you'll be rounding and lengthening your spine. Bend your knees and push your palms forward. And if it's not possible for you to round through your lower back, just keep your lower back in neutral position and round from the belly button up. Tuck your chin, collapse your chest. If you can, tuck your bum under. Inhale, come on up tall, open through your chest. Exhale, scoop your arms and tuck your bum under if you can, and then round through your upper back. Stand up tall. Lift your breastbone towards the sky, let your hands dangle. And again, push your palms forward, bend your knees. Round the parts of your spine that will round. Inhale, stand up tall, straighten your legs. Exhale, scoop and round. Inhale, come on up tall. Let's keep going. Exhale, push forward. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, scoop and round. Inhale, come on up tall. Keep going, moving through the range of motion that's right for you today. Inhaling and exhaling. Moving the lymph through your body. Moving the blood through your body. Working in the digestion. Waking up your spine. Waking up your internal organs. Pause. Take your feet a little bit wider and make sure your knees are bent. Moving into the hip circles. Keep it small to start with. And if hip circles aren't appropriate for your back or your pelvis, just skip this part. If you can, start to make it bigger, pushing your buttocks way back, knees stay bent. Keep it small if it hurts your body, or don't do it at all. Whatever other parts of your spine want to move as you do this, let them move. Keep the prana, the life energy, flowing. Keep the breath flowing. Change directions. Start small on the other side. Notice how things are feeling. Doing what's right for your body. Continue to breathe. Make it big if it feels all right. Pause and move your legs. Lift your knees a few times. Walk from foot to foot. Let's move into the lunges. Using a support if you need one. Could be a countertop, could be a chair. Make sure it's a solid support. Bring one leg forward, the other leg back. Back heel can be off the floor. Your hips are pointing straight ahead. Front shin is straight up and down. If it feels appropriate, lift the arm. So the arm is the same as the leg that's back. If you can keep your balance, lift the other arm as well. You can bend your elbows if that feels better for your arms and your shoulders. See if you can open your chest. Keep holding that support if you need to, and breathe. Release and change legs. Hips are pointing straight ahead. Front shin is straight up and down. Torso is straight up and down. If you like, you can lift the arm of the leg that's back. Feel your breath. Choose an arm placement that's appropriate for you. Release when you're ready and bring a support in front of you now. It could be a solid box or a chair, and it doesn't have to be as high as my chair is. Place your left foot on top of that support and make sure you feel stable. If you need to, you can stand beside something that will support you and hold on to it with your hand. Relax your shoulders. Make sure you're feeling steady and twist towards the knee that's lifted. You can keep your hand on your hip or rotate that hand around the back. Relax your shoulders. Twisting from the belly button up here, trying to keep your pelvis pointing straight ahead. Feel your breath. And slowly release. Changing legs. You might need to change the height of that leg. Place one hand on your thigh and twist. Either other hand on your hip or sweep it behind. Rotate your head as well. Stand up tall and feel the full length of your spine, lifting up out of that supporting hip rather than sinking down into it. Keep growing taller. Slowly unwind and set both feet on the floor. Bring the other leg up again, and this time twisting away from that knee. Rotating from the belly button up. Pelvis feels open. Head is rotated as well. Lifting up out of that supporting hip, feeling the full length of your spine. And if it feels okay, you can gently press the knee back. If it strains your knee or your hip, don't press that leg back. And slowly release. Let's change sides. Get yourself feeling stable and secure, and then twist away from that knee. Chest feels open, head can be rotated. Let the backs of your shoulders relax down. Feel your breath. And if it's appropriate for your hip and your leg, gently press that knee back without forcing. Opening through the thigh and the pelvis. Unwind and slowly release. Make sure you have enough room as we move into some more gentle twisting. Take your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width. One arm is up and the other arm is down, elbows bent like a wonky scarecrow. And then press with the top hand. And then switch and press the air and the energy with your other hand. You can think of it as throwing a baseball with one hand and then the other. Keep it small if you need to. Make sure your back heel is coming off the floor and you're not twisting your knee. Feel the energy moving through your spine. Breathe, stretch, and move. Pause, catch your breath. Take your feet a little bit wider and make sure your knees are going the same direction as your toes. Press your hips back and move into the Sumo squat. It feels nice to shift your weight from side to side. Make sure your hips are pushed back and your spine is flat. Roll down through one shoulder, stretching the spine, stretching the back ribs. Make sure you're breathing and your feet are feeling solid and grounded. Change sides. Begin to gently and slowly alternate from shoulder to shoulder. Press one forward and then the other. Let your head turn with it. If this feels like it's too much for your back, pause, stand up tall, and do some deep breathing. Keep it small if you need to. Bring your torso back to center, tailbone is pressing back. And then gently come on up. To move into the forward fold, you may need a support. You can come down, bringing your hands onto a chair or onto your thighs. Make sure your back is flat. If you want to stop here, or you can take it a little deeper. You might use a yoga block or something like a book to support your hands. Let your head dangle. Shake things around. Let your neck get some traction. If it feels okay, gently shift your hips from side to side. Now this is a very tiny, subtle movement. It doesn't have to be too big. And if it bothers your sacroiliac joints, don't do the movement. Feel your breath. Walk your hands up. Roll up through your spine. Come to standing tall. Let's do some more deep breathing. Bring your feet about an inch or two apart. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let your eyes gently close. Let yourself feel grounded to the earth while your spine continues to feel long and strong. Inhale and exhale. Anything that got hard becomes soft again. Your buttocks can relax. Your spine can feel open. Gently release your hands and bring a support underneath your hands. Bring your spine horizontal, moving into the leg movement. You can keep this movement as small as you need to. Take 1 foot back, and if you want to keep it on the floor, you can keep it right there. Only raise your leg as far as feels appropriate for your spine. Keep your spine in neutral position. In other words, make sure it doesn't arch. Bend the knee and bring it in towards the chest, just as far as feels appropriate for your body. Keep the movement small if you need to. Make sure your heel doesn't lift up higher than your buttocks. Lengthen that leg back. And if it's okay for your back, you can round through the spine, bending your supporting leg, extending, and then rounding, tucking in your chin and collapsing your chest. Make sure you're breathing. Release. Step from foot to foot, shift your hips from side to side, and let's go to the other side. Keep the foot low if you need to. Pull the knee in and either touch the floor or extend the leg back a little higher off the floor. Pull it in and extend back. Bending and extending. And if it feels okay for you, you can add the spine rounding and tuck your chin in. Rounding and extending, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Let's do one more, and then extend and flex your foot. Shift your hips from side to side. Shake it out. Wiggle. Take your feet back a little bit further, just a couple of inches, moving into chair dog. Bring your heels up off the floor and adjust your hands so that your hips can come up higher than your head. Make sure your support is stable. If it feels okay, let your head drop between your arms. Keep lifting your tailbone towards the sky. If you can, bring your heels down to the floor. You can keep the knees slightly bent if that feels better for your body. Heels can come back up if you like. Keep lengthening and elongating your spine. If you need to, you can bring your head up from between your shoulders. Come on out of the posture. Move your shoulders, wiggle, shake it off. And let's stretch the spine and the hamstrings even more. Hands are on the back of a chair or something that's going to allow you to bring your spine horizontal, so your hips and your hands will be at about the same level. Let your head drop down, and if you can, bring your head between your arms again. Start with your knees bent. Elongate your spine and stretch your hamstrings. If you can, straighten your legs a little bit more without locking your knees. Feel your breath. Come out of this pose and move your shoulders around. March on the spot, bring your knees up a few times. And let's move into the quadricep stretch. I'm going to show you a couple of modifications. If you can, hold on to your ankle. Keep your hips pointing straight ahead. You may not be able to reach the foot or bend your knee that much, and if that's the case, use a strap. Wrap a strap around your ankle and only bend your knee as far as is appropriate for it. Hold on to a support if you need to. Stand up tall and once again lift up out of that supporting hip so you're not sinking or cramming into that supporting hip. And let's change sides. Use the strap if you need to. Feeling a stretch in the front of your thigh for this one. You might also feel it up into the hip flexors, the front of your hip. Adjust so that you feel stable. Breathe and stand up tall. Slowly release. And come to sitting on a chair. Make sure it's just your buttocks that are on your chair, and it's not your hamstrings that are getting squashed. So your feet are forward, you're feeling stable. Here's option number 1. Ankle is crossed over ankle, and then lean forward. This pose is meant to stretch the side of your hip. In this case, it's the right hip that's being stretched. If you can, bring the leg a little bit higher, maybe up to the shin, and then lean forward. If it doesn't strain your knee, you can bring that ankle up on top of the other thigh. Flex the foot strongly, and that will protect your knee from torquing or twisting. Sit up tall and stay seated tall, or lean forward if you like. Try to keep your head in line with your spine. Feel your breath. If your knee starts to feel sore, move into one of the first options. If your neck hurts, do some subtle micro movements. And gently come out of the pose. Other side, option 1, ankle low, ankle at shin height is option 2, Or if it doesn't strain your knee, bring that leg up. Flex your foot strongly. Lean forward just as deeply as you feel is right for you. In this case, it's your left hip or your left buttock or your left sciatic area that's getting the stretch. Avoid jutting your chin out. Keep your head in line with your spine. Feel your breath. Breathe deeply into your belly. Release the pose and take your feet out wide. Make sure you're feeling grounded into your chair. Knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. And you can either bring your hands onto your thighs, leaning forward, or if it feels okay, bring your elbows onto your thighs. Stay there if you like, or take it a bit deeper. Hands either on the floor or on a block or on a book. Shake and wiggle in your shoulders and your head. Feel your breath. Let your belly hang down between your thighs. Just let it hang there without feeling a need to hold on or feel tight in your belly. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. Let everything out on your exhale. Slowly walk your hands up your body and come to sitting tall. Adjust your legs, bring them together again. And let's move into a gentle twist. Maintain the full length of your spine and then lift and roll your right shoulder back. Holding onto your thigh, holding on to the chair. Adjust your position on the chair if you need to so it doesn't feel like you're sliding off or tipping. Rotating your head as well, just as far back as feels appropriate. Try and keep your chest open. Let that space between your eyebrows relax. Unwind, and let's move to the other side. Spine is long and tall. Feet are grounded to the earth. Lift your left shoulder up and roll it back. Open across the chest, long in the back of the neck. Wiggle your toes. And gently unwind. Move your head and neck. Check in with how things are feeling. Acknowledge your body. And moving into a gentle neck stretch, gently drop your chin without forcing your head down. And while you're here, add some micro movements, very tiny, subtle movements, moving the stretch into some different places in the back of your neck. Continue to breathe smoothly. Bring your head up. Sit up tall and bring your hands either beside your head or interlace your fingers behind your head. Once again, without forcing, gently drop your chin. Bring your elbows towards each other. Come back up, open your elbows. And then again, gently drop forward without pulling your head down. Let the back of your neck open and lengthen. Feel your breath and hold. Open, Come up tall and release. Squeeze your shoulders up. Drop them down. Do that again. Squeeze them up, and on an exhale, just let them drop. Poof. Let it all out. Let's move into Shavasana now, the final relaxation. If you want to, you can lay down on the floor on your back with your knees straight or bent. You can use pillows while you're on the floor to support your body any way it needs support. You can stay in the chair if you like. If you're in the chair, try and sit up tall and find a balance between feeling relaxed and alert. Let your hands rest somewhere comfortably and let your face soften. Feel your breath as it flows in and flows out of your body. Breathing through your mouth or your nose or both. Feel the natural flow of your breath moving in and moving out of your body. Notice how your body gently moves as you breathe. Notice where your body is in contact with the support beneath you. And let those muscles and tissues relax into the support. Let the back of your neck relax. Let the muscles in your face and your jaw release and let go. Take a moment to let your awareness gently move around your body. And if you find any spots that feel sore or tight or tense, gently breathe into those tissues. And as you inhale, feel them softly expand. And as you exhale, feel them release and let go. Feeling a soft and gentle expansion on inhale and a release on exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling your body opening and softening all over. And if your mind wanders, gently bring it back to focusing on your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And letting go of any focused breathing now. Letting your breath flow on its own. And very slowly and softly opening your eyes and coming back into the room. Namaste.